Okay, good day. All right. Look, this this one is going to be full rant mode. This is probably going to be more akin to what the channel's going to be about in time as we get some proper viewers coming on board, or more viewers. Um, Again, if you've watched past videos, you'll know it's a very underground thing at the moment because it's not being promoted anywhere, and the whole channel is like secretive from my wife and kids and friends and relations. That is until it gets known by others and somebody gets back to them. I won't go into why again, it's a long story. You'll see that in the first intro video if you want to watch it. But this will be a bit longer than the norm, so if people don't like the subject that it's about, or 3 or 4 minutes and think, no, it's not for me, just jump out by all means. But this, as I say, is more akin to what it's going to be about. Read something over the weekend. Well, I only read it yesterday. Been away for the weekend, and I'm just pulling my hair out, and I'm thinking, what on earth is going on? The bulk of it centres on the BBC, but many of the TV stations are very similar in what they're doing and what drivel they're passing out for entertainment on a daily basis, and the people that they're fronting these shows with. I mean, the Beeb for a good few years now are getting rid of fantastic staff, fantastic presenters, fantastic performers because of age, maybe because of sexual orientation, but age is a big one. And they've managed to do it again over the weekend, and I'm amazed. I mean, like, they've gone from 6 months ago, getting rid of Steve Wright on the radio and replacing him with a nobody. Well, I'm going to say that because I'm probably 30 years older than the nobody that's replaced him. You know, somebody from Radio 1 who had his own place there, who'd have been fine there for another 15 years. Steve Wright, just a master presenter, brilliant at what he does. Yeah, he's older, but who cares? He had a giant following, he was well loved. I've not listened to the new guy, I'm not likely to, but I do believe his viewing figures have gone down. So they've replaced him with somebody that isn't as good. They've also given Miss Cox, the lady that did the show after Steve Wright, extra time. So they give the guy that's replaced him a shorter show. So really they're putting another model in for Steve Wright and obviously saying, well, we don't think you're as good because we're not giving you the full 3 hours. They're giving Miss Cox a half an hour longer, and she's not my favourite broadcaster in the world anyway, although she's more akin to my age group. But that's just personal choice. They're not happy with that. They then get rid of old Ken, probably one of the longest serving broadcasters they've got there. Loved by one and all. He's next in the firing line and he's dumped as well. What do they do with him? They replace him. No, wait a minute. They give him an interim replacement first, who isn't too bad. Not just because he's older, but he isn't too bad. He's done the rounds. He's earned his stripes. Not too bad. But they're going to replace him with another nobody. Another guy that sort of goes from this show to that show to the other show with very, very little talent. But he's going to get the gig. It amazes me. But that was the start of things for me. I was a bit unhappy with Steve losing his job. I've worked away from home a lot over the last 10 or 15 years. I work away in afternoons much of the time from my car or in and out of my car. And every time I get back in the car between 2 and 5, I know I've got the soothing tones of old Steve right there. I know he's going to play some great music. I know when the spot where the listener who sends their playlist in and he plays that, it's going to be fantastic. I'm going to hear some songs I've not heard for a while before. The factoids are great. The guests he had on were fantastic. They were, I would suggest, if not to the level of Graham Norton's guests, definitely up there with them, probably better than, who's the boy on ITV, the joker on ITV that loves himself. Anyway, the guy that does the talk, Jonathan Ross. They were as good as he had brilliant guests on. Great show. But he's too old for the corporation. Bang, you're gone. And as I say, that was the first 2. And then I noticed at the weekend, or I noticed yesterday when I read the weekend paper, they've got rid of, let me just see I get all the names right. Who have they got rid of? Hugh Edwards, Rita Chakrabarti, Clive Myrie, and Sophie Rainworth. So they're all gone now as well, or they're going to be gone when they accept the redundancy or argue about wanting to stay. There's one common common denominator there, by the way, in those 4 people. And you know what it is? Well, I'll tell you what it is. They're all very, very, very good at the jobs. But they're all gone. And yes, they're that bit older, as you'd expect. It's BBC policy. Get rid of the old and bring in the new. But who's the new going to be? They're just going to give us more duffers that are fronting more and more shows now that'll be there for the opening of an envelope just because they're willing to say, yes, I'll do it. They're going to have no talent. They're going to have nothing about them. But that said, and I blame many of yourselves, I do honestly, many of yourselves champion these people and like these people, but why, I don't know. Let's go back to liking people with talent. Let's go back to wanting talent. Let's go back to wanting to be entertained by people who can properly, genuinely entertain us. Let's go back to a better writing. Give us shows that are written, better. Written as they used to be. Oh my God. Honestly, words fail me. Words absolutely fail me, But anyway, that's the beeb, isn't it? They've shot themselves in the foot time and time and time and time again. I think it all goes back to, what will it be now, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, when they had issues with Paul Gambaccini, who did absolutely nothing wrong, and who is a legend of a broadcaster. Yeah, they've brought him back, probably on less money, but they brought him back. So they've done right there after doing wrong, but I don't think they've ever apologised to him or compensated him for what they did to him. Great broadcaster, a great guy, very much maligned and not looked after by his employees as they should have looked after him. But I'm just seeing lists and lists of people they're getting rid of these shows who can do the job. And surely that's what we want. People that are speaking to us on a nightly basis that can do the job. Who are they going to bring in next? I would say, what have I got my role today? Paddy McGuinness? Will he be front of the news? He's on everything. Judy Love? She's on everything. Danny Dyer? He's on everything. He's doing something in the dark now, isn't he? I wish he was in the dark with them. I won't watch it, by the way. I won't watch it. Andrew Flintoff? He's on a few things. It doesn't matter that none of them can read the news and none of them know what they're doing. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. We'll find spots for them. Give them jobs. We could get, who's it? Roman Kemp. Get him in. We'll give him a few shows. Who's Roman Kemp? I don't even know it. Wait a minute. The producer's on to me. Wait a minute in my ear. All right. Martin Kemp's lad. All right. Oh, he's doing all right for himself. Martin Kemp's lad. Which takes me to, who's the other fella? The Walsh fella. Bradley Walsh. No, I don't mind Bradley Walsh. He has got a bit of talent. He's on everything as well. He could read the news probably. Bradley, we're after a show for you, but we don't know what to do for you. You're very popular. We don't know. What could we offer you? I've no idea, says Brad. I've no idea. Well, we need to do something. I've got a son, by the way. Have you, Bradley? Well, that's very nice. Yeah, well, most people have. That's very nice. Could I do something with him? Yeah, you tell us what you want to do and we'll do it. We'll give you 3 or 4 series of it. You tour in America. Yes, come on, bring your son in. And then when he's done that, we'll get him some TV work. What's going on? It baffles me. As I've said before about loose women. What do we need? What do we need with loose women? Well, let's go PC. We've got some cracking people on there with journalistic backgrounds that have served the time and done very, very well. We've not got enough, I'll say this again now. Let me hold my hands up. There's my hands. I'm not ageist. I'm not sexist. I'm not racist. I'm not homophobic. I'm none of those things. But what I hate is when the media and TV constantly pander to others, or constantly, not so much pander, but want to show to others that they're very PC and very much on the ball. What we're missing on that panel at Loose Women, well, everybody's saying there's not enough coloured people, black people, whatever it may be, in TV. We need to address that. Let's get a black person on. Okay, well, who should we get? We'll get Judy Love. She's all right. She's a comedian. We'll get her on. A few months later, who else could we get? Still not enough black people. We'll get Brenda Edwards. What does she do? She's a singer. Well, we'll give her a job. Yes, let's get her on. Who else could we get? That's Charlene White's a nice girl. And what's a newsreader? Oh, well, yeah, but she'd be better suited to it. She can even anchor the show from time to time. We could always do with one more. What do we want one more for? I've got a cunning plan, says the producer. And as Baldrick would say. But we want somebody special this time. We want somebody totally different. Somebody from left field. Who can we get? I've got one. And she's done it just at the right time. Let's get Kelly Holmes on. She's just done a show with our channel. She's come out as lesbian, as gay. You know, she shed a lot of tears. She's been hiding under a bushel for 30 or 40 years. Great story this is. Let's get her on. All right, Kelly, I've heard of her before. What does she do? She's an athlete. Will that work on a talk show? Why not? Give her a go. Let's get her on. Okay, then we'll give her a job as well. Yeah, that might work. Well, what was your cunning plan, by the way? What we can do, every few months, we'll have an all-black programme where all the four presenters can be black. Who then can say we're not having enough coloured people on the TV? Who can say it? Hey, that's a good idea. That is a good idea. Well, I'll tell you what we can do. Let's go one further. Let's get our favourite soaps. Let's get them. Let's get some black and coloured people, people of colour in the soaps. Let's get them in all the soaps to show that, you know, because there's people of all colours in all streets up and down Great Britain now, which there is, which is fine. And I've got absolutely no problem with black people or any race people being in the soaps. None at all. I would like them to be able to act. I think that probably should be an overriding theme they should look for. By the way, some of them can. Just one, take Coronation Street. The young girl, is it Deb's daughter? Great actress, very, very good. The young girl, is it Alia? And Alia's very close to our hearts, by the way, because one of my granddaughter's best friend is Alia. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant actress. There's some great actors and actresses in these soaps who are of colour, which is fine. There's some in these soaps that I think have been brought in just because they're of colour, because they can't act to save their lives. But we've gone through that in the past. Right, so we've sorted that out. Right, what else can we do? Tell you what. Let's bring more gay people into the soaps. Yeah, we can do that. Because there's gay people everywhere, isn't there? They're everywhere, gay people. And I'm fine with that again, by the way. But we've gone from Little Britain, where there was only one gay person in the village, to, let's say, Coronation Street, which isn't a village, it's just a street, with probably 30 or 40 regular characters. And I'll bet you of them 30, 40, a fifth of them are gay. No. Is that properly reflecting society? Is a fifth of everybody gay? I don't think so. But then again, I don't know. But are we not guilty of committing overkill? Have black, white, red, brown people on the TV. Have straight, gay, bisexual, lesbian, homosexual people on the TV. But put a correct representation on. Put the right people on there who can do the jobs. People that are qualified to do the jobs. People who are qualified in journalism for things like the magazine shows, like your Loose Women, like your This Morning, like your any of those shows, you know, Good Morning Britons and what have you. Put people who can act in shows where they're supposed to act. You know, let's do that. Let's also give them some proper storylines. Again, let's go just for Coronation Street, probably because it's Britain's biggest soap. Wait a minute, 30 to 40 recurring characters in that soap. Currently, of them 30 or 40 people, how many are killers? Murderers? How many of them 30 or 40 people are murderers? I think, and I might be wrong here, and I'm willing to be proved wrong, I think at the moment there's two. There's two on that street that are killers. I think one of them's up to now killed 3 people. I think maybe the other one's killed 2. He may have only killed 1. I think it's 2. So between 2 people out of a 30 or 40 person cast, 2 of them are murderers. There's been 5 murders. None of them solved. None of them brought to book. Is that a true reflection of real life? I live in a street here, close here, but there must be how many houses in this close? I'm looking out now. 50 houses. Let's say that 100 adults. I don't think there's one murderer amongst us, but there may be. There may be. If there is a murderer amongst us, he may or she may have killed maybe 1 person. And at the moment, they're getting away with it because nothing's been reported, nobody's been arrested. But in Coronation Street, we've got 2. One of the killers is probably 5'8" tall, as scrawny as hell. The only thing that he would kill is he would kill your quiff. Old Gary Windass with that quiff and that haircut, it blinds you. But other than that, I can't imagine Gary Windass, a man of his size, being an hard man and a killer. But they're portraying him not only as a killer, but as a hard man. The other fella, the Canadian, well, is as far removed from a killer as you may get. They've had killers in the past. I get it's soap, I get it's drama. They had one not so long ago, was it Pat Phelan? In fact, I'm going to have to look this way to look for his name because I should know and I don't. And I'll tell you why I should know it. What was his name? I think it's Conor I can't see it now. I think it's Conor McIntyre. I should know his name because I love people who can act. And he could act. He blows these 2 killers out the water. He would have been a believable killer. But I mean, 2 killers, 1 street, 30 or 40 members of cast, 5 or 6 gay or not straight people, 1 street, 30 or 40 cast. In days of old, and I mean very old, I mean, the writers could write episodes revolving around Minnie Caldwell not cleaning her nets for 12 months, or Albert Tatlock always in the pub every night for a half before he had his tea, over drinking. Elsie Tanner brought another man home. Ina Sharples unhappy because somebody keeps leaving the church hall a mess and she's got to clean it. They could write shows around those kind of subjects and they'd still be brilliant. And you know why they'd be brilliant? Because the writers were brilliant, but also because the people delivering the lines were brilliant. We're getting away from that like I cannot believe. I just cannot believe it. What is going on? Come on, let's get a grip. I have made some notes. I don't normally do notes, but there's a couple of other people I wanted to touch on. There is a couple of... Gino DeCampo, yeah, he's on everything. Give him a show. Rylan Clark. If they need a newsreader, give it to him or Gino. Give them a job. They've only got 3 or 4 jobs on the go at the moment. I don't know. I think that really is it. I've gone through bits and pieces of notes and names I wanted to do, but it's crazy. TV is getting crazy. It is, honestly. I heard only over the weekend, the mother-in-law sent me a message through the wife. She said, has Dave watched Britain's Got Talent over the weekend? Well, she should know better than ask that. Dave is never likely to watch Britain's Got Talent over any weekend. He's done, 8, 9, 10 seasons now. He's never watched it once. He never will watch it once. It's a 10 or 12 show series that should probably be 2 shows per year. Now, somebody said to me, Britain's Got Talent. If I watched that show, I'd say, has it? Show it to me. I believe over the weekend, and I'll stand to be corrected here, but I believe over the weekend, one of the acts was a guy who could blow up a balloon using odours from his back passage. I say odours, they probably were. No, they may not have smelt, I don't know. Wind from his back passage. I don't want to use the term that we would all use. I don't want to offend anybody on YouTube. But that's what he was doing. Blowing off from his backside into a balloon and inflating the balloon. And that is one of the acts on Britain's Talent on primetime TV on a Saturday or Sunday night. Now, I thought it ended there until I've looked at this morning's paper. Oh my goodness, have you seen this morning's paper and what's going to be in Britain's Got Talent over the weekend? There's a guy going on there over the weekend and it shows a picture of a little vessel, if you like. you remember the test tubes that you'd have at school for, was it biology or physics? He's got a test tube shape, but it's in metal. Okay. You're not going to believe this. He inserts it up his back passage. His assistant, whoever that may be, it's not a job I'd want, actually lights a banger, a firework, puts it into the tube. The firework goes off in the tube, which is inserted into him. He says it shocks him, the bang and whatever else, bangs him around a bit, but the test tube takes the brunt of it all. His backside, his anus, does get warm, because obviously the firework's coming off in there, but he can cope with it. It's not like boiling hot and it's not in there for that long. He takes it out reasonably quickly, but the big part of this act is, it looks like his backside is on fire, because he stands up and there's all smoke, plumes of smoke coming from his backside above him, his hair, from the banger, from it going off. And they call that entertainment. Words would fail me. I will say it's not April the 1st. Were it, I would have kept that premise up that is what happens. That is made up, by the way. I've not read that. But it's an idea for somebody, isn't it? Because if we can do the other one with a balloon, surely we can do that. You know, if they're the kind of things we're getting on Britain's Got Talent, let's get wackier. Let's show that Britain has got talent. Talent. Oh my God. What is going on? Honestly. Can we stop firing people that can do a great job just because they're old? Can we stop putting round pegs in square holes and giving people jobs just because a small minority of the public like them and because they're cheaper than the rest, or because they're sons or daughters of the rest? There's thousands of people out there with loads of talent that probably are trying to get on radio and TV and in the press, and these jobs are being taken by people that don't deserve it and have no talent. Please, 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 executives, writers, start doing your job properly and stop getting rid of people who can do theirs properly. Honestly, words, they do fail me. What is happening out there? Come on, let's get a grip.